My colleague Molly Gambhir has been tracking this story very closely for us. She's joining us live on this broadcast. Molly, a lot will of course be said in terms of what has been discussed during that press briefing. You know, at this moment, what we're looking at is history being rewritten in terms of how India-US relationship, of course, exists in this moment and how it'll be taken forward, because the United States has pulled out all stops and is looking at its equation with India as the most important and the most defining relationship of the 21st century.
Indeed, Saleh, and just look at the terms that have been used by the two leaders to actually describe this relationship, and you can tell that the tone and tenor is that of warmth, is that of building trust and deepening the confidence between the two sides, not just when it comes to trade and economic ties, not just defense cooperation, but overall just bringing the two countries closer together. And that, as anticipated, has been highlighted through that joint statement as well, which touched upon areas like defense, trade, climate change, space, so on and so forth, and speaking specifically about the economic ties as well, which is a very crucial aspect of this visit, with the Indian Prime Minister also set to engage with business delegates over here in Washington, D.C., talking about the two leaders talking about the significance of economic ties between the two sides and how trade has almost doubled over the past few years. Also, the U.S. and India looking at each other as reliable partners. The U.S., of course, hoping to bring India closer into its defense and manufacturing orbit. Also looking to, in a way, wean New Delhi's military off Russia and also U.S. supply chains from China. So that is has been the expectation here in the United States, as experts have been telling us, because America does realize the potential that India has when it comes to helping the United States counter China. And India also looking at the United States as a trusted partner when it comes to the defense collaboration, which is set to once again propel the strategic relationship between the two sides. And this visit is a very important step in that direction. Just look at the anticipation which has already been there in the run-up to this visit when it comes to the crucial defense deals and the messaging that the two sides are putting forth, like Jake Sullivan earlier put it as well. And talking about how the two sides are standing at a transformative moment is what Lloyd Austin also said, and calling it the two sides referring to the relationship with no limits, and also how it has been called the most consequential relationship in terms of the potential that
Absolutely.
it really has. So the discussions have been wide-ranging, and all eyes now on the Indian Prime Minister's address as well.
Absolutely, indeed. The address of the Indian Prime Minister to the joint sitting of the Congress is something that will be looked at. But also there's a state dinner for the Indian Prime Minister after that. So let's in fact take a look as to what's on the menu for the Indian Prime Minister. Now, this is not an ordinary menu. This is the state dinner menu at the White House. Now, the White House officials are in fact going all out for this event. A specially curated vegetarian meal will be prepared for the Prime Minister. The festivities will take place on the south lawns of the White House. And even the decor, interestingly, has been customized to amalgamate the American and Indian culture. So what are the dishes that will be served to the Indian Prime Minister when he, of course, sits down in the White House, and what's on the menu? Our next report gets you all the details.
A special plant-based menu has been curated for Indian Prime Minister Modi. Why? No points for guessing. It's because the Indian Prime Minister Modi is a devout vegetarian. This is understandable, as a significant number of Indians are vegetarian. The First Lady, Jill Biden, has worked alongside the chefs to create the menu. Who are the chefs?
To introduce Chef Nina Curtis.
Guest Chef Nina Curtis.
Thank you, Dr. Biden. Hello, everyone.
And White House Executive Pastry Chef Susie Morrison have tailored the menu.
All made by hand As some of you may know, Prime Minister Modi is a vegetarian. So we asked Chef Nina Curtis, a plant-based pioneer, to work with our White House chefs and create a stunning vegetarian menu.
Along with the Indian PM, over 400 guests are invited for the dinner. So, what should the guests expect? What's on the menu? For the first course, there will be a marinated millet and grilled kernel salad, along with compressed watermelon and some tangy avocado sauce. For the main course, guests will be served stuffed portobello mushrooms. There will also be a creamy saffron-infused risotto. Upon request, guests can have a lemon dill yogurt sauce and summer squashes. There will also be an option to add fish to the main course. The fish dishes will include a sumac roasted sea bass. Now let's see what's for dessert. There will be a rose and cardamom-infused strawberry shortcake. But what is dinner without some wine? The state dinner will have a variety of wine for the guests. There will be a Stone Tower Chardonnay Christie 2021, a Patel Red Blend 2019, and a Domaine Carnero Brut Rosé. Although the state dinner has a stunning menu, it is just the tip of the iceberg. The First Lady worked with David Stark Design and Production to tailor the dinner's ambience. From the design of the invitations to the decor and the South Lawn, designers have merged American and Indian styles. How will they give the event an Indian touch? Well, the inspiration comes from India's national bird. The White House Social Secretary Carlos Elizondo says that the inspiration for our design really began with the peacock. We wanted to evoke that breathtaking feeling when it extends its tail, unveiling its colorful beauty, majesty, and strength. The pavilion is set to be draped in rich greens with saffron flowers on every table. The design represents the colors of the Indian flag. What's for the evening entertainment? Decorated artists will be performing. They include Joshua Bell, an American violinist and conductor, the United States Marine Band Chamber Orchestra. The White House Social Secretary has said that President Biden and Prime Minister Modi will give their toasts from an eagle lectern, a ritual that leaders have done at state dinners for decades. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.